So, welcome back to Sailing SeaMoon podcast. We thought we'd change it up this week a little.
Yeah, I think so. Because we've been having a good time and we thought maybe we shouldn't be having a great time.
Yeah, so I guess a common misconception is that we're always on holidays, and
And
that's
sometimes,
actually
yeah, sometimes we think that's the case as well until we remind ourselves that that isn't the case at
that
all.
isn't the case. So, come with us today as we explore what it looks like to sail around the world, not on holidays.
Not.
So, you may have seen our Facebook and Instagram posts, and we do think that we put out there some pretty amazing things, and we have seen some amazing sights in since we've been traveling this life.
Oh, we absolutely have. That's why we do it, right? We travel to places outside of our comfort zone and to just experience different cultures. It's unbelievable.
It is. But what significantly has changed is we've changed where we live. We haven't changed what we do. We haven't changed living normal life and having to earn an income. We've just changed our physical location to SeaMoon.
Yeah, and again, because we're experiencing so much different out in the world, sometimes we forget that, or we take it for granted. And I think that's where we can come unstuck, as well as people who might perceive us differently.
Absolutely. So I guess let's talk about work because work was our biggest thing when we first took off on this journey to make sure that we could continue with the work that we do. So what sort of work do we do first, Scotty?
Yeah, so we run a business out of the Philippines called Financial Fanatics. We do,
Happy 10 years, by the
yes,
way.
thank you very much. I mean, yay us. Um, and it does bookkeeping and leases accountants to other accountants, bookkeepers and larger businesses in the Australian market. So we've been doing that. We were going to do that. I was going to do that from an office in Melbourne, and then COVID came along, so I was doing it from home. And you know, you sort of have that realization that, hey, if I'm working from home, could I be working from a boat? Um, and so, yeah, we just transferred the office location from a study in an apartment in St Kilda to a study and a table and a boat that could be anywhere in the world, just happens to be in Croatia.
Croatia at the moment. So, yeah, and I guess what Scott didn't tell you is it's his business. He put this business together 10 years ago and started on that journey. So it took you a while to then, and I guess COVID, to then realize that, yeah, you can actually do this on a boat. So, and I'm fortunate enough to have been working with you now for a couple of years as well.
Absolutely, it's been an amazing experience, and we're very blessed because it's not just how hard you work to create a business that allows you this kind of freedom, but also the moons need to align, and they aligned for us, and we jumped with both
Yeah.
hands to this opportunity, which is why we're living this lifestyle. But the point is, from this talk, is really around the mindset that we have and other people might have that we're just on kind of a permanent holiday.
Yeah, and that's just not the case. So since when we left Melbourne 3.5 years ago, I was really committed to saying to Scott, we need to be in situ every Monday and Tuesday. Like there's sometimes obviously you can't do that when you're crossing oceans, but every Monday and Tuesday, let's make sure that we're on anchor so we can touch base with our team in the Philippines and we can provide them the advice that they need or support that they need on that day.
Absolutely, and I still am in charge of the sales and marketing, so I do sales calls on a Monday and Tuesday as well. Time zone differences notwithstanding, that tends to work out okay. But it just means that we need to plan ourselves around that fixed schedule of Monday all day and then Tuesday most of the day often, and then the rest of the week as required.
Yeah.
So that works well for our positions within the business at this point of time. So
Absolutely. And we do have Starlink, and I'll put the link up here for you to our video about Starlink. But Starlink does give us a capability as well. So the technology has definitely helped us to be in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other challenge is, I guess, there's a lot of people that we meet that are retired or on holidays. So there's a lot of people that rent boats, just for a short period of time, or just come over, especially the Med for 6 months at a time.
Yeah, we are in a holiday destination here in a holiday time of year. And there are some times of the year where we're early season that we can be in a bay all by ourselves, and it very much feels like, well, this is just our home, there's nobody else around, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But today's a national holiday here in Croatia, and it's in this bay, it's us and 1,000 of our closest friends and 50 of our closest boating friends all anchored around us. And everyone's having a good time. It is the weekend, so when we're filming this, but notwithstanding that, it is definitely a holiday period, right? So
Yeah, it is. The summer in the Med is something next level, I guess. They have a short summer, and they love to make the most of it. So
yeah,
you've probably seen the background. There's people
a-
on the rocks and on the beach.
absolutely gorgeous weather, gorgeous water, and people are definitely enjoying it after a long cold winters.
So I guess for us, it's about separation of home and work because we work from our home. So that's also a little bit different than, I guess, working in an office where you walk out every day. Here we have started sort of, you've got the office desk downstairs. Again, if you want to see where Scotty works, I'll pop the link up here to our home video because that shows where your desk is. But I work at the kitchen of the dining table. So, packing those things away at the end of our workday really helps us separate home and work.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not a woe is me, oh my gosh,
No.
everyone else is enjoying themselves and we don't get to do that. Definitely not the case. I mean, we can just jump off the boat and swim just before lunch or
Yeah,
during the lunchtime. If we don't have anything on in the afternoon, we can go and do, have a look around. Or there's lots of different things, flexibility that we build into our schedules around the work side of things. That means we can be essentially on one big long. I'm reluctant to say holiday because that's the point of this video. We're not on holiday. We're on
yeah,
life, and it's a big difference between us who are living here for a long time and our neighbour who's here for the weekend or a week.
yeah,
And rightfully so. When you guys go on holiday, if you're not living this lifestyle, then you got to party hardy, right? Go hard or
absolutely.
go home. Because you got that limited time. You may as well spend all the money, have all the experiences in a short period of time. Whereas we're like, well, we just do this all the time. So we have to pick and choose our moments, right?
Absolutely. And I think from a routine perspective, that Monday Tuesday has worked well. Where it hasn't worked well is where we have come up against some weather. So there might be some weather coming in the week and we need to depart earlier from a location. We need to move our house because our house isn't four walls that is, of concrete just over the back here. It's a real quite can be quite a volatile position that we could put ourselves in. So sometimes we do have to move on those days just to get ourselves in a more safe and secure position.
Yeah. Again, it's the
Really?
degree of flexibility that we need to build in to mean that at some stages we need to travel. And I guess if we were back in Melbourne in our old life, and we had to travel for work to Sydney or whatever,
Yeah.
that you have to travel on a Monday or a Tuesday, well, you can't do meetings on those days because you're traveling. So, yeah, it's a
Same.
similar thing, but we build in a little bit more flexibility based on the safety of us and the boat, and what we need to achieve.
Absolutely. I guess the other thing for us was is we both love a beer.
Yeah.
Um and the
this
challenge
time of year it's hot, and we might have you've been working or maintaining or cleaning or doing something or just working, and it's hot, the evening comes on and you sort of think, I could murder a beer.
Yeah, so we have had to put the brakes on a little bit, and I think particularly after last winter. So from from when we left Melbourne till last winter, we actually didn't really get off the boat for a period of an extended period of time. And last winter in the Med, we popped the boat away and we went on holidays for a few months.
Holidays, but we still worked
We still
during the
worked.
holiday
We
period.
absolutely did.
But
But we let ourselves go a little bit, and
we
we ate overindulged in all the good things, I guess.
yeah, absolutely. And this was interesting. I think that it had been coming since um,
Really,
really
since we left
since
Australia.
yeah, and it's because everyone around us, like, work is a four-letter word for them. That's what they tell us, don't we? We want to know about your work because we're either retired or taking a sabbatical. You can understand that if you
Yeah,
go on holidays with someone and they were like, I just have to do a work thing, it's like, well, I don't care, don't tell me about it. So yeah,
yeah,
there's all of those sort of issues that, but we sort of got into our mindset that we should be able to drink and relax and eat, and maybe we let the exercise regime down a little bit, and maybe we ate too many salty snacks, and maybe we had one or too many beers and bottles of wine, and before you know it, yeah, we were
we were
stacking the weight on because
absolutely.
it's a super danger in this lifestyle because everyone around you does it. The thing that your brain can't quite comprehend is they do it for just such a small period of time, whereas this is life for us. So we got to
Yeah.
stop doing it, and stopping's the hard part.
Yeah, so this year we've been really focused on maintaining that healthy lifestyle and provisioning better, eating better, cutting down on our alcohol, um, doing a bit more. We walk a lot in this lifestyle anyway, so we always go to land and do a walk. But really, coming out the back and doing exercise every, 4 days a week. And so trying to get back into those really healthy habits of what you just do in your normal life. And I think that's the challenge when you are living 24 hours, 7 days a week on a boat in a anchorage is it's hard to get off the boat and go to shore to do some exercise.
It is. You really need to build some sort of discipline around your lifestyle, and it's a discipline everyone else. You're at home. You go to the gym every day. No one thinks anything of it. In fact, that's just usual. That's normal, right? You eat
Yeah.
healthy. You go to the gym. You do walks. You ride the bike. All that sort of stuff that we don't necessarily do because we're with holiday makers, and so they don't want to see you working out. They don't want to work out with you, that's for sure. And so you really need to force yourself, and you like have super ultra discipline just to do the normal things that you would do at home. And I think we're getting back to that now. People go, oh, we'd say we might not drink every day, which is a big thing. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
don't drink every day, no. Um, we were only drinking one day a week, but we've let that go now
Relaxed
because we're in the middle of
a little
summer
bit.
here, and we've got to enjoy ourselves a little bit before the winter.
Yeah, so I think it's just about finding balance. So when we term the coin, or term the phrase of we're not on holidays, we really needed to think about that from a lifestyle perspective. People going out for dinner all the time, and we talk to cruisers that are here or holiday makers that are here for a couple of weeks at a time. They've hired a boat. They might be Australian. They come and say, hi, you guys are from Australia. Why don't you come out for dinner? And we say, oh, maybe not tonight, because we know that we can't go out every night.
No, imagine that if you were home, that just doing your normal 9 to 5, Monday to Friday type of role, or whatever it is that's normal for you, and then someone's trying to get you to go out every single night. One is it's super expensive to do that.
Absolutely.
If you're on holiday, fill your boots. I agree. 1 week, 2 weeks, go crazy. Especially here in the sailing lifestyle, where there's you know restaurant docks that you go to on these little islands, that tavernas that have, you can stay for free the night. All you need to do is, spend 120 euro on a meal and some wine, and you do that for a week, that's fine. You return from that holiday with great memories but completely
Absolutely.
broke. We couldn't do that. That'll be our,
No.
we do once a week max, right?
Yeah.
That we would go out for some sort of outside meal, and that could be a lunch or a dinner once a week, because it's not that we can not afford it, it's just that you just don't do that in your normal lifestyle.
But in saying that, from an affordability perspective, Scott, we do have a fairly strict budget, and you're great at a budget because I have a budget. It's not a budget; it's a budget. I'm not quite sure how you say that other word, but
Budget.
budget, budget. So we need to make sure that we don't overspend, so we can, you know, when we go to shore, if we want to have a really nice meal, we can. If we want to do an activity, we can. If we want to go and see a museum, or, fly our kids out here, or do whatever we want.
We can, if we've got money in those saving account buckets that I squirrel away. So yeah, I squirrel every dollar that we have in, put that into different accounts, and I just give Sandy a fixed amount to spend. And once we've spent it, she'll ask me for some more somewhere. But typically we're very disciplined in
We
just
are.
spending that amount of money and not going over the top. And it's the same amount of money, coincidentally, that we would spend in St Kilda on a normal month, from shopping, going out, entertainment, petrol for the car, the same petrol for the boat for us.
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff comes out, and it's the same budget. So whether we're here in the Med sailing on a boat, or whether we're home in an apartment in Melbourne, so which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and it's a good discipline to get into. So I guess this lifestyle gives you a lot of freedom, but I think you really need to remember that, you know, especially we need to remember that we're not on a holiday. We get to enjoy this amazing lifestyle, but we still do have commitments, and we have to honour those commitments. And our commitments to ourselves as well is just as important. Of, paying off we have apartments to pay off back in Australia, and we need to make sure that we are financially responsible with our money. So this is not one just big holiday. We're just
No.
very privileged to be able to sail around the world at the same time as managing a business. And
Exactly right,
yeah,
and for that reason, and again, this is not woe is me. Our lifestyle is amazing, but because you don't have that set holiday period now, when we went on a river cruise
earlier this year,
in Europe in winter, was the cheapest time of
it
the
was
year that
very
it worked
cold,
out for
but
us. And we just took the mindset, we're on holiday here.
yeah,
I didn't do much work on board the boat. I think we just sort of
we did a little
said,
bit.
no, we're on holiday. We do that from time to time. So we do have enough discipline to say, okay, well, we won't be doing any work this period because we're doing something unique or extraordinary. But typically speaking, we don't really have holidays as such.
No.
So, and I understand how that might sound. Well, we're on a permanent holiday. We're just trying to say, well, no, we're not. We do lots of other things, have lots of other work responsibilities, and we just need to have that mindset. I think that is when we're off, and when we're on, we need to be on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, all in all, it's a fabulous life. But if you're going to think about doing this life as well as being a digital nomad, I think there just needs to be a little bit of consideration around, your lifestyle, how you choose to live your life on the boat, and maybe not take 3.5 years like we have to figure out that we're not on holidays.
No, definitely that. But I will say one thing, Sandy. Everyone gets to make up their own rules. So, and this is part of the problem. The thing that our mindset keeps on evolving. But whether you are a digital nomad with kids that spends 3 months a year on a boat and 9 months of the year back home,
Yeah.
or spends their whole life traveling around the world on a little monohull, it's your rules, it's your game. You work out how you want to play it, and
Absolutely.
reality sets in relatively quickly that you couldn't afford to be on a 365 holiday, and nor would you want to be, right? Like, I feel really sorry for those trust fund kids that, you see on the Instagram thing, they're flying all over the world on private jets all the time. It's like, but there's no contrast, there's no balance, right? There's no ups and downs apart from the little dramas that happens in their lives. So at least with us, we know there's contrast. We have to work sometimes. we get to play
Yeah.
sometimes, and it makes the play more enjoyable.
Absolutely. So, anything else you want to add?
Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, there is one other thing I'd like to say. We're not professional YouTubers. We might aspire one day to be. I think if we got to a point where YouTube was all we did and we didn't have a business, that we would love that. So we really appreciate you watching and supporting us. Those people that have subscribed really helps us. Like, comment, plenty of comments every episode, which is really, really encouraging for us. But we would love this channel to go somewhere. At the moment, it's not. So professional YouTubers work really, really hard, editing, filming, doing a whole bunch of stuff. That's not necessarily us. We're trying to do real life and YouTubing. So it's quite the adventure.
Yeah. Well, stick with us as we continue our adventure. Thanks for watching. Bye now.